San Francisco has extremely high hopes for this upcoming football season, and a big part of that success is their defensive side of the ball. Specifically, their defensive coordinator they switched. First, last year, they had one of the best defensives across the entire league, ranked number 1 for basically the whole entire year. And then, DeMeco Ryans took a job with the Texans. This left a huge vacancy with the Niners looking for a candidate to not just replace DeMeco Ryans, but improve upon the defense. The candidate they selected was Steve Wilks from the Carolina Panthers. He's arguably one of the best defensive coordinators across the entire league. Wilks also differentiates himself from his predecessor in a couple ways. First, he's a much more aggressive defensive coordinator than the Niners have had in a while. He also relies a lot on man coverage, which is a little bit different than the Niners' zone coverage philosophy they have been relying heavily on. Steve Wilks knows he wants to blitz more, and that's going to require a lot more man coverage, as I mentioned. So he needed to go out and pick up players he thinks could actually perform. So one of the biggest additions is picking up a slot cornerback. And in today's video, I want to talk about the player he picked, who he called the best slot cornerback on the market, in Isaiah Oliver. And it's not just what Steve Wilks is saying. So far in OTAs, the first OTA available to media, Oliver performed extremely well. His long arms stand out, and he was even able to break up a pass that was going to Chris Conley extremely deep down the field. It wasn't a horrible pass by any means. He was just able to put his hand in there and kind of jab it out at the last second. It was a phenomenal play. And players like this are extremely necessary to run that aggressive style of defense Steve Wilks is known for. And while Isaiah Oliver looks to start at nickel cornerback, many Niners fans really don't know a whole lot about him. So in this video, I hope to go over his college a little bit, what scouts are saying about him, and finally conclude with how I think he's going to fit on the Niners roster. In high school, Oliver played both wide receiver and cornerback. He excelled at both positions and received numerous college offers. He ultimately decided to go to Colorado. Also throughout his college and high school career, he ran a ton of track, with his best time in his high school days being 10.56 seconds for the 100-meter dash. Throughout his time at Colorado, he played from 2015 to 2017. He entered the 2018 draft, and he had a total of 82 tackles and 3 interceptions between these years. Oliver ran his 40-yard time in 4.5 seconds and his 10-yard split in 1.55 seconds. Scouts coming out had a lot to say about Oliver. They thought he was a round 1 or 2 corner. He has elite size, speed, and his arms are extremely long, and they go on forever, it seems like. He really had a lot of strengths throughout his college film, but I would say his long arms and being able to get inside a wide receiver's chest is what set him apart. And while it's great to have this press ability, Oliver also used his arms effectively when he was beat in coverage. And let me explain, while corner's job is not to get beat, sometimes they do, and having long arms helps mitigate those circumstances. So a corner with shorter arms may not have been able to break up as many passes as Oliver did. Isaiah Oliver was ultimately selected in the 2nd round by the Atlanta Falcons. And while many people have not thought he's lived up to his billing, I think that he's going to have a revitalized career here in San Francisco under Steve Wilks. First, Steve Wilks hand-selected him, and Oliver does fit exactly what the Niners are trying to do under Steve Wilks, which is an increase in man coverage as well as more blitzing. And Oliver is a player that can even come off the edge to blitz. While Oliver seems to be the front runner at the nickelback spot, he also looks to face competition in last year's draft pick, Samuel Womack, who performed extremely well when he got the opportunity. Ultimately though, I think Oliver is going to be a great addition to the Niners, and I'm happy that he's been able to perform so well in OTAs from everything we've seen, and I hope he continues his upward trajectory. Those are just my thoughts on Isaiah Oliver and his recent OTA performance. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. It would also mean a ton to me if you guys liked and subscribed. Thank you guys so much for the support. It really means a ton to me.